composing gloves here, and Black Friday is upon us. Probably the best time to pick up plugins because they're all on sale. There's usually a really great deal. And if you're tight on cash and there's one time a year that things are within your reach, this is usually it. So I want to just point out some things, just show you a couple plugins and just inform you a little bit on what's on the table. These are all plugins that I use and I think they're amazing. And if you already have some of these, then you can go ahead and skip ahead. I'll probably include timestamps down below so that you can go to the various plugins, because I want to give each one their due just to kind of show you why they're so cool. Because these are plugins that I really truly use and they really have made a rather large difference in how I do things. So let's go ahead and start off. The first one is Phase Plant. Now Phase Plant's got a massive sale going on right now. Just to start off, the company is a Swedish company and there is a Discord that they are actively on where you can report bugs and talk to the devs. Devs are incredibly responsive. And there's also a massive sound design community. And I'm in the beta team as well, where I just test stuff out. And that is also extremely active. And so it's really, really cool to see how things are being implemented, how they're prioritizing what things are done. And so just from a company standpoint, they're amazing. But the synthesizer itself is mind-blowing. You can find tons of videos of people just sort of gushing over it just because of how cool it is. Let me just show you a couple of things. So normally you're limited by the number of sources you can have by the plugin. If you're not, it's usually a really complicated plugin to use. Like Reactor is great, but there's just a ton you can do with it, like almost too much. And so for some people, it's an excellent fit. I think Phase Plant has nailed like the boundary between complex and simple to use and still being able to accomplish extremely cool results. So for example, wavetable synthesizers, right? You're only able to load up a couple. Well, here I can load up one, I can load up two, I can load up three, and they have their own editors. I can adjust all kinds of things. Let's add an envelope and I can modulate it. So here I'm just going to modulate this top one, make the attack a bit longer. And maybe these others I'll put somewhere else in the chain. Let's play a higher note. And now you can't hear these because they're after the amplitude. So I'm just going to move that down. This is the amp out. So you're able to actually use these as modulation sources. So for example, let's say like, oh, I want to do some modulation. How is it at that? Well, we've got a sampler and you can do sample level modulation, which is a crazy topic I'm going to save for another day. But if you're into the high realms of synthesis, you know how insane this is. I'm going to stick with regular periodic stuff for the sake of simplicity. Let's go with a sine wave. I'm able to modulate anything that's green at the audio level. All other stuff is the control rate level. And so, for example, I can do some FM. And also, the synth, you can see it dynamically update. So it's a great learning tool as well. We can do AM. I mean, it's just pretty dang wild. So after you've got your crazy sounds set up, and there are a bunch of crazy sounds. If we go through some of the presets here, we can just sort of take a peek. Maybe too low for that one. So just a ton of really cool sounds. Those are all the bass sounds. But you see are these lanes where the people have put their effects. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. But they put their effects in here and you're able to go ahead and really dress up the sound. Something that a lot of synths have very limited. They either have a limited number of slots where here it's essentially endless as far as you can go. And in the new beta, they have done something wild. So here's the most recent beta. So this is what's on the what's coming, what's on the train. What you can do is so dang crazy. So you can load up a multipass inside of it. And so this is a band splitting plugin that holds more snap-ins. We could load another multipass. You could load a snap heap in here. And now you can add additional lanes in your band splitted version. And you can do this for each lane individually. Like what you can do here, what's possible is insane. Seamless has a couple of videos. If you know Seamless, if you look it up, it's Seamless R. The R is technically silent. I've got a whole series on this. I mean, just go check it out. It's truly a synth worth considering. Very, very forefront on the sound design and what's possible. It's easily a synth you can grow with. I doubt anyone's anywhere near even mastering it because of how amazing it is. Because we haven't even talked about per voice settings. The per voice settings are also very, very, very crazy. So, and you can go check this out. Definitely one I'd have on my radar right now. Let's see if I've got it up. We go for Phase Plant. They did announce their sale. Right now, it's only 200, but that's the different one. The Professional Toolbox. This is the one with the sale. You get a ton of the snap-ins, and it's $200, which is a massive, see, here it is, a massive discount from its regular price. So definitely one, to have on your radar for if you're looking at a synthesizer. Very, very, very cool. There's one other thing about Phase Plant I want to show you, and that is there's a bunch of videos and on the Discord too. If you go down to like the last room, I forgot what it was called. There's a person on there who's constantly doing this. People will make an entire track with multiple parts, like an entire track with one note and a phase plant. And that's it. That's how crazy this synth is. So their LFOs are like super decked out. You can do these crazy things. So I sequenced Happy Birthday. That's crazy. You can do this. And so, I mean, just to show you how insane the possibilities can get. And that's just simple. I've done like the minimum amount here. You can do so much more. And on Discord, I even saw someone that did this with a series of groups so you could keep going because you do reach a limit on the LFO. But currently, they're revamping the LFOs. And so there's just tons of stuff going on behind the scenes. If you want to be in a group that just has fun doing things with sound, this is definitely a thing worth looking at. Very, very easy to use, very fun to produce with. Now, let's go ahead and move over to the next one. So this is Harmor. It was the first synth I learned. I think because of Seamless, it's the first synth a lot of people learn. And I actually have 2 full series on this. If you want to go see some really crazy sound design as well, Seamless also has a bunch of really awesome tutorials on how to use Harmor and things you can do with it. And you might be going, why is Harmor so cool? Why not go with something else? Well, Harmor is an additive synthesizer. And so normally you generate a waveform through some math process and then you remove things from it. It's called subtractive synthesis, which there's elements in here that are subtractive, but there's elements in here that are additive. And in the case of Harmor, Harmor takes additive to like a more extreme setting. You can pick out single harmonics and affect those individually, completely independent of all the other harmonics. You can do this with a ton of the things inside of Harmor. You can design filters that are pretty much perfect filters. And the way it does this is it uses a table of frequency, phase, and amplitude, because those are the 3 parameters that make up all sound. And I just want to show you something that's really, really cool that you can do with it. So you can take, for example, here's the sound. I'm going to drop the sound in. Oh, whoops, I did that on the envelope. Here, let's reset this real quick. Default. Let's go to the image tab. And you can drop it in. And now it's a sampler. But what you're looking at is not the sound itself. It's the map of the frequency, phase, and amplitude. So we can take advantage of all the crazy per frequency controls that Harmor has on any sound. And this is what's made Harmor such a cool and really a unique tool. For example, I have one here set up. You can sing a song, a completely monotone, and then completely resynthesize it in real time by using Harmor. So you might say, I can repitch vocals using other things. It is not like this. This is not technically vocals anymore. This is completely synthetic. So let's say I sing it in monotone.
Do you see
this isn't me,
the things I see?
Here it is. It's been sung in. Now using the amazing powers of Harmor.
Do you see the things I see? Do you believe what I believe?
So you're able to play it. And so you can resynthesize vocals, an extremely cool technique. And so there's one reason why Harmor should be on your list. Now, something else that happened to come up with Harmor, because I looked up a sale. So the way I picked these plugins was I thought, what plugins would I really wish I had in my toolbox? And then I went and I looked those up and looked if there was a sale going on. So I did not look at sales and then come back to you. I did it the other way around, because that to me means these are plugins I actually use and really care about. And when I looked up the sale for Harmor, I could only find it in a bundle, but it included 2 other products that are really, really cool. So this is NFL. There's this thing called Growth Beat. That's a time manipulation plugin. It's really used a lot in hip hop because of its ability to do slowdowns and stutters. So right before your beat drops, really popular thing to do. Yeah, you hear stutters. So that's the time manipulation. You can also do some amplitude and you can mix them. Really fun to mess with in real time. So that's Growth Speed, really, really fun thing. You also get vocodecs with it, which is a fantastic vocoder, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say it also comes in this particular sale that I happened to find, because what I looked up was Harmor. But if we go to Image Line, their Black Friday sale is this one right here, and you get those 3, and they're 50% off. So I mean, pretty good time to grab those. Harmor's the big one though. I mean, if you didn't pick it up when you bought it, because if you buy it when you buy FL, you also get a really big discount. This is probably the other best time to really pick it up. Usually they also have a Christmas sale, but it varies on what actually goes on sale. So really, really cool. All right, up next, we have Regroover Pro. This is by Acusonus. They're becoming more and more well-known. Regroover Pro, I use way more than I originally realized that I actually would. So what it is it's a drum analysis plugin. Let me just show you. Let's say I have a drum loop. I'm just going to drag that in. It looks at it and it splits it into the pieces. Like, you can do things in here. It looks like black magic. Let's play this. Now it's halftime. Let's just speed it up. So quick note, the reason it's faster than over here is because it's actually been synced to my host tempo. So I'm able to sync things incredibly fast. Let's see, I can get just the kick, or this is the snare, here's the kick. We can mix them. You can rebalance it. I also have videos on how to use this as well and get super clean results. But let's say that I just wanted those 2. I didn't want the hat in there. Well, I can take this and all I need to do is click, drag, and boom. I've got it synced up and I am ready to start moving. Now, let's say, I just want the hi-hat maybe. I wanted to separate those out. Oh, it looks like this is part of the kick. So we could have layered that with the kick. Let's say all we want is this. I'm able to just go in, take that, and you can very, very quickly generate top loops using this as well. Another thing you can do that's really, really inspiring to sort of work with is you're able to make them repeat at arbitrary lengths. So let's say like, hey, I want you to do that. And over here, this is going to go, I don't know, like this. So you're able to mess with things, and a lot of times you can find a really cool pattern, and you can tell how long you want it to repeat, because sometimes you need it to go for a certain amount of time to get the exact loop that you want. And then you can just drag and drop again. You can also grab single samples. You can use this for sample mining and put them in a little kit, or just drag them out. I mean, this has like been amazing to work with loops. And so this is my recommendation for loops. And if we go over, this one goes on sale pretty frequently. And right now, of course, it's on sale. So this is one I would definitely, just keep your eyes on. There's also a beat bundle that they're currently pushing pretty hard because they came out with a new product that I haven't had the chance to check out yet. And so, yeah, that's Regroover. This is one that I just use a ton, a lot more than I thought I would. So if you're a user of loops, I would consider this a pretty indispensable tool. So really, really cool. And in the similar vein, by the same company, they have a series of denoising plugins. All right, so we're in my school project here for a second. I was doing a thing on the life of Bach. We had to talk as if we were Bach. Group member couldn't make it to the recording, so she sent in her own. She's not an audio person, and the audio I got was really bad. And it's just a thing. If you don't know anything about audio, you're going to probably not get the best. And so Here's the audio.
My
I was
family
saying.
were well-known musicians, which is where my education in music began. My brother being the
So you see there's just noise all over this. So in order to fix it up, I have an Air D here. I'm not going to explain everything that went down. It's pretty straightforward. You turn a knob, you adjust some levels, and you get what you want. If you want to get more detailed, you can. There's like advanced options. But this is where I
My
ended.
family were well-known musicians, which is where my education in music began. My brother being the church organist and my dad being a town.
Like, holy crap, is that usable? That is so much better than where it was before. Now, I can't play, there's music actually going on, which really makes it like quite transparent as opposed to it just, when you hear it immediately affected, I feel like you can hear more details and like what it's doing, but extremely clean for such a bad case. And this is also something I put on pretty much anything I shoot with a boom mic if I have any kind of noise in the background. And so right now, a lot of times the computer I'm using, although I've separated it and put all sorts of barriers around it, the noise still comes over here. And there's also other noises in the room. So even the audio from the boom will catch noise just naturally in the room. That one was a noise floor problem. This one's just actual ambient noise in the room. And today I want to share with you a bit about my life.
My full name is Johann Sebastian Bach.
And keep that in mind as there are many Bachs.
I am the youngest of 8 children.
So you can hear in the background all that like extra gunk, and I want to get rid of that. Also, the clicks and pops are just Sony Vegas being Sony Vegas. The audio is always like really not so great. And I had to change things so that it wouldn't fight with OBS. So I'm just going to turn on Air D and we're going to just get rid of a ton of that background noise. And also notice how well she like just comes in. It's like, if you didn't know, I mean, she's in a different room, obviously, and that almost helps the illusion that these things go together. And today I want to share with you a bit about my life.
My full name is Johann Sebastian Bach.
And keep that in mind as there are many Bachs.
I am the youngest of 8 children.
My family were well-known musicians, which is where my education in music began.
That's pretty dang friggin' clean. I mean, this is like totally clean. There's like no complaints at all there. That's pretty dang impressive. So that's why I recommend Air D if you're going to do any sort of like audio fixing stuff. I found that for whatever reason, out of all the things I've tried, that one is just won the denoising game. It just wins. They have these one knob plugins that do audio restoration. I've got lots of videos of me using these, but in the back, the reason I point out the Pro bundle and not the one knob is there's the Air D in the back. And that is like the best dang denoiser I've ever used. I use it. It's on every video I use. It's on this audio right now. And at the beginning, I've learned a lot of things about the plugin as I've used it more, but it's been just a joy to work with. And I find specifically that the Air D versus the one knobs, Air D just does a fantastic job at this. So whatever bundle has that in it, I tried looking for a sale that only had it, but you kind of have to get it with everything. It is truly amazing to work with. The one knobs also work really, really great as well. But I've just, from personal experience, the Air D is something that, even though it's a more pricey thing, when it's on sale like this, and you get a bunch of other stuff, but that is just the coolest dang thing. All right, so this one isn't on sale at the moment, but it is so dang handy, and it does go on sale. I recently put out a video about it. You're able to browse samples according to how similar they sound. No more folders, just browsing. And this has just been completely awesome to work with. It streamlined a lot of things about the sample picking process. So when it comes to loops, I still use folders and go for a regroover, but as far as one shots go, this is pretty dang hard to beat. So it does go on sale. I'm hoping that it goes on sale like one day or two. I would definitely keep my eyes peeled because it is a more expensive one. So if it does go on sale for Black Friday, probably going to be the best time to grab it. I just wanted to give it just wanted to bring your attention to it for a small moment. Keep your eyes peeled. I don't know if there's a way to like favorite something and see, if it goes on sale, you get notification or whatever, but really, really cool. And finally, to wrap things up, I've got two that are small. They're both on sale. They go on, this one, Sublab, goes on sale frequently. It's a kick drum plugin. 808s. And this is one that I would definitely look at. I have some videos again on this, and very, very fun, easy to use, and is truly made just writing certain styles of music just a lot easier. Hello. And this is Manipulator. There's so much lag. Oh my gosh. There's way too much lag for me to be able to give it a proper demo. But this is so much fun to play with. If you're into making these sorts of sounds, let me just show you a little bit more. Yes, Manipulator. All right, so that's a Manipulator. That was a terrible demo of it. It could do so much. It's really fun. I have the buffer size really high on my computer right now, so it's not the friendliest to do, but very, very cool. And it's also on sale. And so this is one that, if of all the Polyverse plugins, by the way, these are made by Infected Mushroom Polyverse, Manipulator is my favorite. Wins hands down. Super fun to fiddle with. And those are my Black Friday recommendations. Are there any you would add? Do you have any sales that you know of that are just killer deals that we should be looking at? Let me know down in the comments. Subscribe and have a blessed day.
I've seen that look in your eyes before, but I don't want to go through a closed door. So buckle up and settle in, cause I'm getting down to my 8-bit jam. When the swingers sing and the piano plays, I felt so good I could dance all day. But not with you, oh no, not yet. I'm not skipping out on my duet. Let the drums roll in, let the moving start. Get up, get down, but don't pull apart. Is the swing not the same?